Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Fun Size, and today we're taking a look at something a little bit more interesting today. Just giving my thoughts and opinions on what I think the top 10 LRs are in the game right now, or at least just what has released and the units that I've actually been able to play with, in which case that's what we're doing today. And if you find yourself enjoying the video at any point, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, because that also really helps me out, okay? Helps me with the algorithm. And let's get into the video, boys. Okay, so first things first, I've been playing Dokkan for quite a long time, okay? So I started playing it seriously around the 3rd anniversary, and I've been playing pretty much ever since. So I've got some time in the game, right? I've been following the game for some time now, and I was kind of casual, just kind of off and on, just talking with my friends and stuff that also played Dokkan at the time, and just, you know, doing all of these types of videos, but just in the privacy of my own home. I mean, I'm still doing that now, but I'm putting it out there for you guys to enjoy, right? And maybe even give your thoughts and opinions on how you think my thoughts and opinions correlate with yours, and as to whether or not they're the same. Okay, so that's the point of this video for the most part. But anyway, I also wanted to post a video just to, you know, say what's up, guys. You know, it's been a good weekend or so, and I haven't posted anything, in which case now I am. But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's weekend was good. It was fantastic. Anyway, moving on, let's go ahead and get into what I think about these units, because for the last 6 months I've basically been able to play with all of these units pretty much every day. Okay, so since the 8th anniversary on JP, I've been basically playing the game and trying to catch up my JP account, in which case here we are today, right? My latest video has probably got my latest everything in it. Okay, so let's talk about it. Number one undisputed, well, kind of. Okay, so what they're doing in number 1 slot is they're doing a lot. They're reviving, they're doing a lot of damage. The unit itself is relatively defensively viable against just about any boss in the game if they're able to super attack first, in which case, you guys, most of you already know, it would be these guys right here. Boom. Slot 1. They have to. It would feel wrong not putting them in slot 1, right? Because they've helped me with so many events, so many. I can't even count them all. Okay, like they're that good. They're that good. All right, so like I said, they're reviving, they're nuking, they're stacking attack, they're defensively viable after you get them 5 super attacks with the damage reduction. Like, they are good. These boys right here, especially with a good linking partner as well, they will carry you through so much in the game, and I feel like they will be used for a very long time, and that they will age actually quite well because of just how strong they are and how their kit is designed. Because once you get that damage reduction, and then every super on top of that is giving you more defense, like a raise to attack and defense for the turn, right? And then like on 18 key, it's a massive raise. So then boom, you're chilling. Like, they don't stack or anything, but they are able to tank like damage from Cellmax. They're able to tank damage from Omega Shenron in the last phase. Like, you give them a super or give them several supers in slot 2, or that's also random, but if they get several supers and they're chilling, like, they're good, bro. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to worry about dying. Are you gonna take some damage? Yes, that's inevitable with 90% of these characters anyway. Like, that is inevitable. However, they are able to keep up. They are able to dish out the damage and be defensively viable. So that is slot 1. Slot 2. Now this is a little bit harder, because I was debating as to whether or not it was Bulma or Piccolo. Now, I can't really speak on Bulma too hard because I don't have her, and I haven't been able to play with her myself. However, the things that I've seen Bulma do, I mean, it's kind of undeniable that she's the best support that they've ever made, that we've ever gotten. So I mean, that in itself kind of holds its own weight. Double turn support, full heal when you pop her active. I mean, she's able to do her thing, tank, and she's doing a lot. She's able to get damage, and she's able to get defensive power from orbs, giving everybody else defensive and offensive support. So I mean, like, she's undisputedly like the best support ever. She is the best, hands down. Can potentially go in slot 1, right? Like, she's very good. She's very good. However, Orange Piccolo can literally just win you games off of just his transformation, because it lasts for so long and you're getting so much free damage, and what it actually brings to the table, it's almost a Ghost Usher if you think about it. I mean, if you're bringing someone that can't handle normals after super, then you got a problem. Okay, you have a problem in your team build, and you need to fix that. But other than that, like, I would say that Orange Piccolo he's still very, very strong in his own right. Still has strong healing because of his high base defense after you get him his hits built up. Very strong. He's guarding for the first I believe 4 turns that he's out, so you're able to get those hits basically no problem. He's also supporting with ki. When he does get hit, he gives everybody 2 ki, which I can tell you has also saved some runs or saved some characters and allowing them to get their supers when I didn't expect them to. So he's actually doing a lot himself as well. Like, he's not something to sleep on. Now granted, he's not going to be able to tank bosses from certain super attacks from certain bosses, right? Certain bosses are going to do a lot of damage to you. However, because his defense is so high, especially if he is rainbowed, he's at like 700k 700k defense, and then he's getting 50% from a super. And if you build him additionals, which most people do build him, they build him mainly crit and then additional. So if you get an additional, that's another 30%, and he's good. Like, I can't argue that he is still very strong, even though he doesn't guard anymore after so many turns, and he has an intro that wears off and all that. Like, he has his flaws, if you will, but he's also still very strong in the fact that Orange Piccolo transformation is just utterly like busted. Like, it's not even really a fair transformation, to be honest, because you can do it pretty much whenever you want, especially when you need to. So later on in the fight, after 6 turns, you can do it whenever you want, and or I believe after the 4th turn, and you have superhero allies next to you, and you can get it. So I mean, you can either do it early in the fight just to secure some things, or you can do it later when you really need it. And Orange Piccolo is just really strong, and I can't wait for him to come back. I cannot wait, because even right now, like, he's good and you can use his team, but not for like the hardest stuff in the game, because these characters like the fusions and the gammas, they've fallen off a bit. So we're waiting for the superhero buff, and I'm waiting for him to get his spot in glory again, because he's actually such a good unit. So as much as I've spoke on him, I'm actually going to put him number 2. I'm going to put him number 2 because of that transformation alone. And then Bulma can be number 3. There's no way she's any lower than 3. It's impossible. She's that good. I know that she's that good. Like I said, best support in the game. And unfortunately, I can't even run her team or anything, which is just sad. But just based off of what I've seen her do and the little bit that I did talk about her, she's very good. Okay, she's very strong. Now let's talk about who's going in slot 4. It would have to be this guy. Come on, most of you already knew who I was going for next. Okay, so let's talk about Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, man, my boy is very strong. Okay, so he's very similar as well to the GT duo in he gets damage reduction, right? Now, I've talked about this before, but damage reduction, in my opinion, could potentially be stronger than guard. And here's why I say that. Damage reduction straight up cuts whatever you're looking at at whatever percentage the damage reduction is, right? So in this, like, let's say in Goku's case, he is cutting no matter what the damage is. It could be 1,000,000,000 damage and he cuts it immediately in half and says, okay, now subtract that from my defense, right? So if you get a unit that has naturally high defense, like for example the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then on top of that the damage reduction, you don't have any other requirements for the damage reduction, then you're chilling. He's able to just eat supers whenever. Like he could be slot 1 with no super attack and he'll still cut that in half and be like, all right, well, we're fine. We're gonna take 200k damage from the hardest boss in the game and we're sailing after that. We're smooth sailing. It's not a problem. And then since he does raise defense before he even gets tagged, he can cut that even further. So yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is very strong. Also, he still has the Majub transformation. So Majub, just if you get 5 orbs with Majub, you're not killing Majub. So he's basically unkillable, right? So he's unkillable, and he gets this transformation that makes him ridiculous. Comes out for 3 turns and he's guaranteed critting. So if you build him additional, he's just doing absurd amounts of damage. And then on top of that, he's very, very tanky, and he's a slot 1 unit. That cannot be said about a lot of units in this game. If they can go slot 1, they are automatically bumped up on just about any tier list that you put them on. And in this case, he's put on this top 10 LR list, in which case also he's up here. He's number 4. The only reason that these guys are higher than him, in my opinion, is because of extra things that they do. Yes, Goku is very strong. He's got the damage reduction. He's doing a lot of damage. He's doing his thing. And he has a state where he's pretty much unkillable. But Bulma is supporting. He's not. Oh, actually, hold on. Wait. He is supporting defensively when he becomes Majub. But she is supporting offense and defense all the time if you give her enough orbs. I mean, it's hard, but I would say those 3 above him are potentially better by just small margins. Like, it's really hard to say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4 because they're all just about almost on the same level. Like, they're all very, very strong units. Like, the top 5 units in this game are just like better than everybody else. Like, they're just better. That's just simply put. Like, I don't know how else to really put that other than the top 5 units. They are very similar to each other, but like similar in strength, I mean, but it's hard to really definitively put them in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, right? And I'm not saying that Goku in some situations is not better than Orange Piccolo, or, you know, so it's very situational, because you can take every one of these units and then make them look bad. You can do that. Like, you put these guys in slot 1, they're trash. You put Piccolo in slot 1, after he's lost his guard, he's trash. I mean, put him in slot 2 or 3 and he dies. Like, it's all situational, but at their best, I mean, they're all pretty much similar. They're not the same, but they're very similar as to how they're going to perform and how much value they actually bring to the team. Okay, I just want to make that clear before I get like comments like, I don't agree with you, and how could you put Super Saiyan 4 Goku at number 4, dude? Like, bro, relax. Okay, it's my tier list, number 1, and 2, again, this is not like in a definitive order. Like, this is not define the character and their value just because I put them at 4 or put them at 3 or 2. Like, it's very situational for certain things to make them their best, but when they're in that situation, there's no other character like them, right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, so number 5, I would say, honestly, Boo Boys. You gotta put the Boo Boys up there. You have to. And the reason I say Boo Boys is because they're also, well, hold on. Yeah. We'll leave it like that. I was gonna say, oh, well, they've got a similar state to Majub, but, well, hold on. Okay, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna put them there like this because their base state. So the Buu duo as Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, I would say that that particular state of the card is very good, very offensively strong, very, very strong. However, defensively, they can't really keep up. And the reason I say that is because they're doing so much damage so quickly that the boss kind of ramps up and then they die. Like that's just how it goes. That's my experience with the card. And also, even in like earlier stages, or let's say that the next phase of Omega Shenron or whatever, like they can get caught really easily, even if they're at 700k defense, and then they go, oh, I'm gonna super this or I'm gonna super that, and then they die because they take a million damage still because they don't have guard, they don't have any of those things, right? So yes, they have a standby after they've done 4 attacks, or if their health is below 50%, they can still pop a standby, and then now they become basically unkillable if you have enough defense. If you have enough defense prior, if they have stacked up enough, they can become basically unkillable because they have guard and they have all that stuff going on, and Vegeta is just ridiculous. Okay, so yes, they are very strong, and then they also nuke with the spirit bomb, which is great, but their base form is a little bit it's not the craziest. Yes, they're critting and doing all this other stuff, but again, defensively they become hollow in comparison to the actual tank version of themselves. You're using them for basically their damage more than anything, and then when it gets tough, quote unquote, that's when you're supposed to pop the active skill and then nuke with the rest of the bomb. Like that's what you're supposed to do. However, they do have the potential. They do in long form content. If let's say there was a fight that took 30 turns or whatever, right, and the boss was super tanky, or they were just doing a lot, excuse me, and this is what you needed, a long form content unit, it would be them, because they're doing a lot of damage, and with enough time they can become unkillable as well, because they're always stacking defense on every single super. Okay, so number six, I'm gonna have to say, if I'm being honest, Vegeta and Trunks is next. Vegeta and Trunks is one of the best units in the game still, even after all this time, and they are aging very gracefully, because they can guard and they stack. Units like this that are guarding and stacking, they are going to age out very gracefully, in my opinion, especially Vegeta and Trunks, because of their leader skill. They have one of the best leader skills in the game, period. This leader skill to me is absurd. You can have basically any Saiyan in the game, just about, and you're fine. They're all gonna link together. They themselves have a decent link set, besides like Dismal Future and a few others that are like weird, that are very specific to Future Saga, but that's fine. That's totally fine, because their main links, they link with Saiyans, and link with Saiyans well. Hybrid and or regular straight up Saiyan, pure Saiyan, right? So Vegeta and Trunks, they're just ridiculous, man. So even in long form content, yep, they're right up there too. Now granted, they don't stack as fast as these guys, but since they are stacking and guarding, you can't deny that they're going to become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. And they're critting for free in their kit naturally. They're doing a lot of additionals. People build them additional so that they get the extra tankiness and just overall damage with the unit. So the unit is actually doing a lot, okay? And then their active skill, they buff everybody's defense for the turn. So yeah, they're doing quite a bit. So Vegeta and Trunks is going to stay on the top 10 in my opinion for some time, until we get some bangers, some heavy hitters that are like the top 5 units in the game. Unless we get more of those, I mean, Vegeta and Trunks is just gonna sit comfortably right there. And the only reason I placed these guys above Vegeta and Trunks is because Vegeta and Trunks can still die later on, right? If they get their defense lowered or whatever, these guys have a standby skill that gives you a nuke. Vegeta and Trunks can't do that. Their active skill basically doesn't do damage. It's not meant for that. It's kind of like, oh, we did a guaranteed crit and that's it. Like, that wasn't really anything. It was like 1.8 million damage. Yes, I've seen them do higher and whatever, but they're not meant for that. They're defensive monsters. They are tanks. That's what they do. Okay. So, who's next? I would say the next person on the list is AGL Goku. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. So the reason why I say AGL Goku is because, number one, he's guarding for the first 6 turns, no matter what. He doesn't have to get hit first, and that kind of telltale sign as to who's next, but he doesn't have to get hit before he has his guard. He stacks relatively quickly because it is a massive race to his defense when he supers. So it's like, okay, boom, he supers, then he gets that massive race to defense, and he can get to 600-700k by the time his guard wears off. Okay, so that's not bad. He's not taking damage from normals. And depending upon how you build this guy, you can build him dodge, which is the most efficient way to build him, dodge and additional. And if you do that, then you've got a guy that can tank not only normals but dodge supers. And then if he is to get tagged and he is the last one, he is a floater on the team, and if it's the last attack and he eats a super, guess what that means? He's tanking that super. He can survive the one-hit KO. Most of the time we don't get to see that because, well, we die or we get hit after the fact, but in some situations, some scenarios, he can survive the one-hit KO, and that in itself is amazing. Okay, just being able to survive and move on to the next turn where we can get the revive going, we can get something else. It's one more turn, right? And it's not a revive, obviously, but it's just one more turn, which allows you to heal, which allows you to use an item if you need to, which allows you to pop other abilities if need be. So, and then he's got a beam counter as well. So he is a defensive monster. He is nullifying beams. He is dodging if you build him dodge. He's able to tank early on, which a lot of these characters can't do because they have to build up. Now, granted, yes, he has to get hit to get extra defense and such, but that's the first 5 hits, but then he's chilling, okay? But other than that, like, he's very solid. Like, he is a solid character, and on top of that, he gets a heal. He gets I believe a 59% heal when you fall below 40%. Which, guess what? If you are just below 40% and then you get 59%, bang, you're at what are you at? 99%, right? Or excuse me, no, 39 plus 59. Yeah, that's like 98, 97, something like that. But yeah, you basically get the full heal again, which is underrated because most of the time that's what happens. I'll get knocked down below 40%, I'm almost dead, and then he heals us and he saves the run. I have had countless runs accredited to this guy because of that heal. It is so gosh darn good. Like, it is actually so good. It's incredible. Okay, so this character, very strong, very strong character, very solid character. For those of you who have him, you understand. Okay, so next on the list, which I already kind of gave it away, would be the Carnival Goku. Now, yes, he is stacking, yes, he is guarding, but he does have to get hit before he's guarding, and that's the only reason I put him down here right below this guy. And then he also has a revive. I believe he was our one of no, excuse me, I was gonna say one of our first revive units. That's actually untrue. Vegeta and Trunks, excuse me, not Vegeta and Trunks, Goku and Vegeta from the 6th year were our first, I believe, ever revive units. This guy is just the first viable revive unit before we got the duo. Okay, this guy is still very good. He can still get in the kitchen and chef it up. Okay, if you really focus him and you give him his defense before he gets hit and all of that, he can tank for you. He really can. He's still one of the best units in the game. Even though this amount of time has passed, he's still very good. He's still very, very good. Okay, now he's a little bit slower than the rest of these guys, but he could still chef it up. That's been proven in some of my latest videos using him. He's still in the top 10. He is still able to compete with the hardest content in the game. Okay, so that's all I really have to say about the revival Goku, the bird coup, right? He's still very, very strong. Okay, very, very strong. Slow but strong. He can still get the job done. Okay, now moving on to number 9 and 10. Who am I placing where, boys? I think most of you know where I'm going with this, but Vegito, then Gogeta. Okay, reason being they're very similar, very, very similar. They have pretty much the same kit, except Vegito has more chances to super and doesn't get guaranteed crits. So instead of another crit, he gets another super. So he becomes more defensively viable than this guy will, especially after all these supers. And all in all, like he maxed out Vegito can super up to 6 times. 6 times, and if you build him with crit and additionals, you build him offensively, that boy can super, crit, super, crit, super, not crit, super, crit, super, crit, super, not crit. Like, you can get so much damage so quickly with Vegito. It is ridiculous. Now, the problem with Gogeta, however, Gogeta can somewhat do the same thing, even if he has crits. Let's say he supers, and then, oh, guess what? You have 2 guaranteed normals, but they can be they have a chance to super, right? They can become supers, but if they don't, then you get, oh, super, and then normal, and then normal. And I've had this happen before, more often than not, I should say, right? More times than I would even imagine that it would even happen, but it has happened. Even if they're crits, that's great, that's fine, but they're normals, and we don't like that. So then he can get blown up because he didn't get his supers. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what's happening here, right? So Vegito is more consistent as far as being defensive. That's the big difference there. Yes, Gogeta has the potential to be better offensively than Vegito can, because if you get the 24 key, guess what? He's going to guaranteed crit. Also, his active skill is a guaranteed crit. Vegito's is not. Vegito's is not a guaranteed crit. I've had that active skill hit like a feather, and then we watched Gogeta put his sack on the table and then just blow the boss away. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. They're very similar, and arguments can be made where it's like this, right? But the main argument that we're sticking with here is that Vegito is more defensively consistent, and Gogeta, it falls behind in that regard. So that is my tier list, everybody. Let me know what you guys think of the characters that I've put in this tier list. Who needs to go where? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.